Have you ever thought that you couldn't do something? See a show of hands. Who's ever doubted themselves, thought they couldn't do something? That's right, we all have. Everyone in the room raise their hands. You may think, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Whatever it is, we've all thought that way. Today, I'm going to teach you a technique that will allow you to accomplish whatever goals you may have. Would you guys like to learn that technique?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. It's exciting. Who wouldn't want to learn that, right? That technique is called the rewind technique. Now, so maybe the rewind technique. So, like I said, maybe you doubt yourself. Maybe someone else doubted you. In my case, it was a little bit more extreme, but I'll share that with you. And I was actually told I couldn't achieve something. In 2006, I was in a car accident with an 18-wheeler. I went underneath this 18-wheeler. I suffered traumatic brain injury, a stroke due to the bleeding in my brain, numerous broken bones. I was in a coma for a month, and when I woke up, they learned I had decrescent age. I was like a little kid, and I had to learn how to walk again. I had some challenges in front of me. Every day I remember listening to the doctors as I got better, and they would go through everything that I wouldn't be able to do. Every day. But I was 19 years old. I wanted to, I had my whole life ahead of me. So they said I wouldn't be able to go back to school due to my short-term memory loss, that my left arm due to nerve damage was paralyzed, that my life that I knew before my car accident would never be possible. But I decided, I'm going to try anyway. So I did. 4 months after I got out of the hospital, I went back to school. I listened to what people were saying. I took a remedial math class just in case they were right. Maybe I wasn't where I started. So I took a remedial math class. I tried very hard. I remember those long nights sitting in Allgood Hall out there at a two-seater table, and I would study and go over the problems. But when I would go in to take the test, I couldn't retrieve the information. I couldn't find it. I couldn't link the things together. Needless to say, I failed the math class. It was only 4 months later. So what was I going to do? Was college not for me? They were right. I failed it. What do I do? No, I said, I'll take it again. So I did. This time, I enrolled in disability. So I would be able to get extended time on tests. They would, instead of 1 hour to take the test, maybe if I had more time, I would be able to do it. So I got 2 hours instead of 1. Actually, it was more like 2.5 hours they gave me. Really, all that did was give me more time to think, why can't I remember this information? I failed the math class again. So, third time's the charm, right? No, not for me. I failed it again. This time, the dean called me in the office, and he said, Jessica, you can't pass this math class. It's remedial math. I'm going to put you on probation. Like I was a bad student. And I said, okay. He's like, for 2 years. Well, that's bad. For one, it's embarrassing. I had been in this remedial math class for 1.5 years, and I couldn't pass it. And I hadn't told anyone that I wasn't passing it. They thought I was just going along with classes. Because my reason, I didn't want to tell people that I wasn't passing. They would make me feel okay about not passing. They would remind me what I went through. And I didn't want to feel okay about failure, because I knew I had it in me. I just knew it was possible. So it's like, well, somebody's going to find out, but what can I do? I was like, I know, I'll transfer schools. So I enrolled in a community college. And I made up something. I said, yeah, it's a smaller school, and I don't know what I said, but it worked. Everybody believed me. I took an entrance exam going there, and I got into the lowest of the low remedial math classes. I think a lot of the students, they were either very young, or we had I think there were about 3 people, they were about 65 years old, so they hadn't been in math a while. Well, as they went over the information, I remembered it like that. It was great. I was the smartest kid in class. I even offered to tutor people. I think I did that throughout the semester a little bit. I felt so good. And that's where I learned the technique, the rewind technique. As my mom said so many times to me in the past 7 years, 8 years, sometimes you have to go back before you go forward. And that has the most truth in it, but it was really hard for me to accept. But when I did, that's when I persevered. This technique applies to any situation. So you've been out of the gym for a while. You walk over, there's a 200-pound dumbbell, and you're going to pick it up. So you go over and you go grab the dumbbell, and it doesn't move. You can't get it. So what do? Is it game over? Time to leave the gym? No. What you do is you go down to the 100-pound dumbbell. You try very hard, you can't pick that up. But you go down to the 20, and you can. It's the same thing. Sometimes you got to go back before you can go forwards, and that's okay. You don't always have to start where you left off. So next time you're presented with a challenge, I hope you'll remember me and the rewind technique. Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, Jessica. That was very motivational, and I will definitely be thinking of you next time I get the challenge after rewind. At this point, we'll have just a minute so that everybody has an opportunity to fill out their notes and feedback on the speech. I'll put you in charge of that, Keith.